Hey, it's me again, Dawn Diaz, always dawning. And it's been a couple of days since my first video. And, I just wanted to come back and kind of reflect about how that felt to actually do the video, publish it, and share it. I didn't share it widely. I shared it with, kind of like a focus group of people in my life on different layers of my life. And it was well received, and I also shared it on my school community. And I got some, really heartfelt comments and like identification and people getting where I was coming from in terms of the depth, right? And so what I'm realizing is that the community that I'm starting with Feeling Alive, it's starting off small. We have 24 members, and we had our first live meeting, like on the school platform. It's kind of like a Zoom meeting, but it's through their platform. And it was only 3 of us, and it was really beautiful. It was really, really, really it was the truth, man. It was the truth, what I was talking about in the other video. We talked about like what brought us here, what brought us to this community. And for me, I talked about my that had been a hermit. I had been a hermit for a while, for like years. And then how I had to like climb myself out of it, like claw myself out of that, that cave that I was in. And how I did that was by taking a love tour, literally taking a tour of different states where there's people who I know who love me and who receive me. And it was very pivotal for me, and in breaking out of that depression, right? And why I was in that cave and why I was in that depression, that's another story for another day, for another video. But it's good. It's very, very, there's a lot to it. I'll say it was heartbreak. That's what I'll say. But so I talked about that. And then, when I asked them, like, what brought you to this meeting, this gathering, our first gathering of the Feeling Alive community. And both of them said it was me. Both of them said, like, they had missed me on the platforms and in the in the public eye, and in the and sharing my gifts, right? And that was really awesome. That was really, really, really special to hear. And I received it. I totally received it, because I couldn't stand myself not sharing my gifts. That's why we're given these gifts, is to share them, right? So, then we talked about, and then, they talked about their personal reasons, right? Like empty nest syndrome, relocating in a new city, things like that, and And then we talked about like, what is this feeling alive community? And I broke down what the layers were, like, the different components and stuff like that. Basically there's an online community. There's a in-person, in real life, IRL, right? In real life gatherings. And there is a retreat, and there will be a festival. So those are the four pillars, I guess. And so it felt great. It really felt great. It felt great. It felt amazing to be back in my element, and it's been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming because I spent the better part of this past decade in isolation. And I'm not doing that again. I'm not doing that again. It's funny because they said they missed me, but I missed me. I missed me. I missed me. I missed me. Man, crazy. It's funny. One of the guys that I worked with in the fire department, he also worked with me in production, in producing my festivals that I used to do. The Mother's Day Walk. It was a music festival. It was a walk. It was, family field day. It was phenomenal. And he was like my number one producer. And he said to me recently, like a year ago, he said to me, you know who I miss? And I was like, who? He said, Captain Diaz. And I was like, oh, yeah, I miss her too. And obviously Captain Diaz was who I was in the fire department. However, it was also a facet, right? A version of me, a role that I played when I was, running production. And yeah, so it was really, really great to be back in my element. I'm loving it. And the floodgates have opened. And honestly, I have wanted all 24 members of the group to be on the meeting? Absolutely. But you know what? Having 3 people was so intimate, and it was so real, and it was so organic, and it was so natural, and it was so, like nurturing, and yeah, it did what it needed to do. It did what it needed to do. And so yeah, so I came back because for a lot of reasons, right? I mean, because now I feel accountable, and I love it, because I had started this YouTube channel, Always Dawning. I had started it in the past. I had started it 2022, and I did one video, and it was actually New Year's Day of 2022. No, it wasn't New Year's Day. It was my birthday. November 19, 2022. And I said I'm going to do 365 videos, right? One a day. Could you, I literally did that one video, and that was it. Never again. Never again for 4 years. So I was like, no. But, to be fair, during that time, I was in that it was during the pandemic, and I was going through the thing that I was going through. So yeah, but here I am, baby. I'm back. She's back, better, bigger and better. And actually different, when I was on the meeting and I was talking about one of the people on the meeting, she had been one of my students, like one of my graduates from many of my courses in the past with Milagros Day Worldwide. And so, during that time as a coach, I was rigorous. I was a very rigorous coach. And, there was curriculum and schedules and meetings and phone calls and homework and, and all of that has a place. All of that is foundational, right? All of that is discipline and it's necessary at a certain point. I'm not there anymore. That's not the kind of that's not what I'm sharing anymore. Right now what the space that I'm creating is to be embodied, is to be grounded, is to be real. In the last video, I said, if you want to be real, if you want to let go of the bullshit, if you want to drop the bullshit and you want to be real with yourself first and foremost, come here. This is where that's gonna happen, because that's what I'm about, and that last video, I cursed a lot. And I mean, I do curse because I'm a born and raised New Yorker. But I was hurting. I was hurting, man. Because, like I said, I had put out a bid for connection, right? And the bid for connection was, like, I'm going to this tea party, this beautiful tea party, which actually it was stunning, the tea party. I'm gonna post about it. I'm going to this tea party and I don't feel beautiful. And I know, like, I saw myself and I know that I'm gorgeous. Like, I know that, but I don't feel, I had these compression freaking sleeves on my legs for my shin splints, for the shin splints, because they're not mine. I'm not claiming them. And, I had just washed my hair and I had just had a big shed, and it's really it's a hard thing to go through, losing your hair, which that's another story, that's another video for another story for another day, because I definitely want to talk about, I'm doing all the things, like, where am I gonna go from there, right? But I was hurting because and I know, like, Facebook is not the place for you to get support or for you to get, for you to get, I guess, deep. But you know what? I'm deep. So wherever I'm at is going to be deep. But wherever I'm at is going to be deep. Like I mentioned in the last video with my ex, talking about, oh, why does everything have to be a therapy? It doesn't have to be a therapy. It has to be a conversation, So anyway, yeah, so I was hurting because I guess what I wanted people to, what I had said in the post, right, was that I'm going to this tea party. I don't feel my best. I know I look good, but I don't feel my best, and I know that I'm not the only one. I know that everybody goes through stuff, and I know that because here's the thing, the reason that I was so stressed out, it was because I was trying to hide it. Because I was trying to hide the compression socks, and I was trying to hide my hair loss. And that, it wasn't even the situation. It was the energy that I was putting in so much into hiding. And that was the core message. That was the core message. That, how much energy are you putting into hiding things? And that just because you hide something doesn't make it go away. It just makes it a secret. And how much does it cost you to maintain that secret? That was the core message. That was the core message. And I just got so frustrated that the message wasn't received. It wasn't heard. It wasn't read. It wasn't acknowledged. Because what I wanted to hear was, I spent years hiding X, Y, and Z, or not even saying what you were hiding. But yes, I know how much that hurts. I know how heavy it is. Something like that, And all I got was, looking great. You look beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So anyway, I want to acknowledge that I was definitely hurt, and that's why I was kind of cursing a lot. I do curse, but that was a little much. And yeah, it's all good. I'm happy to have this forum, and I want to continue it. It's not going to be 365 days. The last one was on Sunday. Today's Tuesday. So I think, honestly, like a weekly video is what I'm committed to. It's what I'm committed to. Could be less, it could be more, but I'm definitely committed to that. And I want to invite you to my school community. It's called the Milagros Center for Feeling Alive, and I'll link the the community here, and I would love for you to join us. It's all about depth. Number one, depth. Being real with yourself first and foremost, and doing things, finding things, prioritizing things that make you feel alive. So, thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon. All right.